Welcome into Brigham City, Utah, the Tournament of Champions for the gold medal match in the men's single division. Dane Stewart joined by Dave Wanbach. Dave, we've got a really intriguing gold medal match coming up here in men's singles.
Dane, this is going to be special. And, you know, this is the match that we all expected when this day started here on Men's Pro Singles Day here at the Tournament of Champions. We have the number 1 seed, Ben Johns, taking on the number 2 seed, Tyson McGuffin. Dane, these guys met in a match about an hour and a half ago that I had the privilege of watching, and Ben won it, and that sent Tyson down into the consolation bracket where he worked his way back up, just beat Kyle Yates in the bronze medal match, and that is what he's setting up this gold medal match here at Brigham City, the base of the Wasatch Mountains. This is beautiful, Dane. I remember you and I did this last year,
right, yeah.
And this is going to be an annual tradition with us.
Hey, sign me up, man. Let's book it for next year. Huh?
You're on, baby.
So talk about these two players, McGuffin and Johns. You mentioned they played earlier today. Strengths, things to watch for on each side.
Yeah, you know, one of the keys to this match is just going to be who is in better shape physically. I expect a long, drawn-out physical war here. I think this is going to be a long match. If it goes 3 games, and McGuffin does win the best 2 out of 3 games, that will force a 15-point tiebreaker because McGuffin came out of the consolation round and Johns has come through this bracket unscathed. And one of the things to really watch is the aggressiveness on the returns of serve. That's something I'm really going to look for here, is guys getting a little bit more aggressive on the return. You know, we're playing in some pretty significant elevation here, Dane, and the players are not used to that. So we like to come in a day or 2 early, get used to the elements, because the ball flies here a good 20% more.
Wow.
I would say in the air than normally. Now, these guys just met about a month ago. I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Beer City Open, and these guys met in the final, and Tyson took that one. Ben did not have much energy coming into that final match because he played his brother Colin in the bronze medal match, and that was a battle that went on forever, and Ben had nothing left for the gold medal match. So the last time these guys played, Tyson won pretty handily. So I look for Ben to get have a little bit of chip on his shoulder today, and we kind of saw in the winner's bracket final, Ben came out smoking, and he took that in 2 games, I think, and here we go. We're getting ready to get started, and Johns is looking for a little bit of some payback from their last visit here, Dane.
You talk about that energy. It's a warm day here in Brigham City. I haven't played in this all day long. Be interesting to see who's got more in the tank here late in the day with the sun bearing down on us here at John A. Gold Medal Court.
Well, remember, Ben came out of the winner's bracket. He hasn't lost, so McGuffin had to play an extra match, and that could be a situation here. I'm hearing from the truck that it's about 92 degrees with a 6-mile-an-hour wind. I'm hearing from the truck.
That's pretty official, man. They must have like their thermometer and everything, and they got the little...
Oh yeah, we got
breeze measurement.
We got the wind gauge going on.
We just need humidity and barometer, right? Let's finish this puppy out as we.
All right. Well, shout out to Lynn Lehman, our referee for this gold medal match here on John Gulo Court. The lines judge called that out. McGuffin arguing this, and Lynn's going to bring in the players here. And Dane, in gold medal matches, we always have lines judges.
And it's a shift from the players. They're accustomed to calling their own lines.
Correct.
And so that's a little bit of a mind shift difference.
All day long, we called our own lines here. Yeah. And just when we get to the medal matches, we usually have lines judges. And quite honestly, I think the players see the ball more clearly than the line judges do.
So we're replaying that. Is that correct? I believe it's what I saw. Yep. So there's a side out.
Yep. I think Lynn saw the ball in from where he was standing, so he said, let's replay it.
Yeah.
And you know what? These line judges are volunteering. They're not getting paid.
Yep.
So let's not be too critical of them. Sometimes their eyes tell them something different than when the actual result is. See how Ben is trying to get that ball deep in the court on the return of serve.
Nice recovery there by McGuffin.
He's going to get this too. Oh, look at this.
Man, great job covering.
Oh, that ball was in.
Oh,
And
just long.
This is what we were talking about when we set up this match day, and we talked about being a physical war. That's what I mean. I think you're going to see a lot of points where we're playing this cat and mouse game, where we're angle dinking it and making the players have to work really hard. That ball was just wide.
Yep. So that'll be a side out. I believe we're 0 serving 1 here. In just our first game.
Ben Johns going into his sophomore year at the University of Maryland in College Park.
A Terp.
He's a Terp, but the good news is he's in the Big Ten, with the Badgers, so we give him the benefit of the doubt.
I was going to say, you don't hold that against him, right? I mean, we've got, not only do we have Dave Weinbach and his familiarity with the game, but we got maybe the best nickname sitting right here to my left in the Badger. I love that.
Ben got a little greedy there on that return, and one of the phrases we use in this game is we don't want to give any freebies. And when you miss a return of serve, it's an easy point, and we call that a freebie, and we got to watch that here.
Speaking of, had a long on the service, the linesman right there to call that out. So side out now over with Johns on the service.
And the wind is freshening here, and it's a right to left wind. So if you're watching Ben serving, the wind is going toward Ben's left. You can't see that on video, folks, but it's freshening. And there's an easy backhand put away for McGuffin.
Great job of drawing Johns to the near side and then forcing that to the other end, and no way that Ben's able to recover there.
Yeah, we call that the setup shot.
Yeah.
The finishing shot gets a lot of the credit, but the key shot is really the setup shot.
Still 2-0 here, the lead for McGuffin. And
another ball called wide that McGuffin's having an issue with that. Lynn Lehman, the referee, is agreeing with the out call. McGuffin getting a little frustrated. We could hear him over here, Dane, saying that this happened the last year or so, and he's getting a little frustrated with that. So let's keep an eye on that.
You mentioned they played earlier today, and that's one where still fresh on the memory, right? And to come to a gold medal match and to have to concede some of those calls to the linesman, I think difficult when you're trying to come out of that consolation bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tyson's worked really hard today to get back into this gold medal match. And as I said earlier, this is the match that, everybody expected and everybody wants to see. These are easily the two best players, Dane, that we have in the singles game in the world. And this is the match that we've been seeing time after time after time in the major, the larger tournaments. So no one's surprised to see this in the final. Look at
that. Was a great return, wasn't it?
Look at the depth on that return. Oh, what a great backhand pass by Tyson.
Wow, this just clips that back line. That's an impressive shot for McGuffin there to take a 3-1 lead here.
Tyson going for a little loopy serve. You don't see that from him very often. Usually he brings a lot of pace on the serve. I'd say McGuffin probably has the best serve in all of pickleball, followed by Zane.
Is there a strategy behind that? I mean, is that just trying to keep your opponent, trying to catch them back too far in preparation for that speed service?
No, what he's really looking for is a weaker return. So when he's serving hard, he's not trying to ace anybody. He's not trying to hit a winner. What he's trying to do is force a weak return so that he can attack his third shot more efficiently. So again, he uses the serve as a great setup for his next shot.
Yeah.
And he's, I think, one of the best at it.
Nice little run here by Johns. Back-to-back points, tied up at 3 apiece here. You see good work there by McGuffin, get the side out, keeping Johns back.
Yes, the depth is the key, and Johns just took his eye off that ball. Johns was focusing there on where the ball was going. He was focusing on the result and not the process. We really try to get people in this game, when they're hitting a shot, to focus on the process of hitting that ball in the middle of your paddle and not focusing on the result.
McGuffin able to keep the heat on. One that just caught Johns and couldn't get the ball centered on the paddle, get back over the net as McGuffin retakes the lead here, 4-3.
Look at that great serve.
Wow.
Oh, there's no call.
In?
There's no call by the... Oh, she's calling it in. I thought that ball was wide, Dane.
Well,
Tyson still has the ball in his hand.
No, he awarded a point.
The referee did not see the call.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting. But you know what? The right thing happened because the ball was out. Oh!
Boy, chance for the put away.
John's totally mishitting that overhead.
Not something you'll see very often. An unforced error there by Ben Johns, and McGuffin 6-3, his largest lead of the match.
You know, I think that shot rattled Johns, and let's keep an eye on this. I mean, there's a simple unforced error there. I think sometimes when you miss an easy shot in sports, in any sport, you think about that, and it rattles you.
Yeah.
And I think that caused John's unforced error on that return of serve. He rarely ever misses his backhand slice return of serve. He probably has the best backhand slice return in the game, and to see him miss that in the net, I think he got a little rattled by that missed overhead. You saw him look awkwardly at his paddle after he missed that.
Well, and explains his decision here to call a timeout, and a well-used timeout by Ben Johns, because, you know, one of the things in pickleball, it does not take very long for things to snowball and for a game to get away from you, and now you're trailing and having to fight back.
That's a great point. You know, we talk a lot about momentum in sports, and in pickleball, we've all seen it. It's unbelievable how fast momentum can change.
Yeah.
And in singles, where you have really fast points, you can roll off 4 or 5 points, Dane, very quickly. So let's see if this timeout can switch the momentum back, and Ben can get the momentum back here in game 1 here in the men's pro singles match. It's beautiful. John Gulo court. Oh, and McGuffin cannot catch up to that.
Great response from Johns out of the timeout. That is a difficult return, and tell you what, Tyson did everything he could, but that's a hard ball to catch up to.
I'm glad that I'm not out there chasing those balls around.
No kidding. We're in the shade, man. Quite comfortable here.
This is awesome.
Good action here at the net.
Oh, I
great
cannot believe he caught
recovery.
Oh, and it just sails long. After a great get by McGuffin, I didn't even think he was going to go after that ball.
Yeah.
And he get to it.
Boy, and I thought for a long time that was going to drop in. It looked like it was going to be awfully close, but point there to Johns.
See how the wind is taking that a little deep in the air? When McGuffin's hitting those lobs, both of those he thought were in from his muscle memory when that ball hits the paddle. But with the added elevation here, the ball travels farther. So you must make the adjustment in your game.
Able to keep Johns back here. Great work by McGuffin.
Yep. He set that point up really well.
Yep.
You just got the sense, Dane, that Tyson had total control over that point the whole time.
Yeah. No, Johns was never able to come up, and a great job of keeping some momentum behind the ball, forcing Johns back and keeping him moving laterally as opposed to coming up to the net.
Yep. And really never gave Ben an opening to get to the net or to hit any attackable ball.
Yep. And the moment you leave one hanging, there's the put away.
Yeah. And if you leave one hanging against these two guys, it's over, my friend.
Not going to end well.
Oh, I thought he might go around the post there.
That's my favorite shot in pickleball.
It's so cool.
I love it.
And these two guys are maybe the best at it.
There it is.
Oh!
There it was.
That was in. Now, that one did hit the line. And a huge shout-out, let's go from Johns there. He knows how big that was. He needed that side out at that time.
That's one of the tough things. I mean, you know, that's a great shot by McGuffin. You think that you've got Johns running away, not going to be able to get there, and then to go around the post there. Great job for the side out. Great battle.
And oh, wow. That's really good stuff. And the players get a great round of applause from this super live audience we have here. You know, we got a new shade structure, Dane, that we are really enjoying nicely.
No kidding. I walked up and I was like, oh, man, this is becoming one of the nicest pickleball courts, certainly in the state of Utah. And I would gather it's competing nationally.
This is the best court in the state of Utah by far.
Not even close.
And certainly in the top 3, I would say, nationally.
Yeah.
I would give number 1 the Minto U.S. Open championship court is pretty cool and an unbelievable atmosphere. It's going to be hard to top that.
This has been a growing tournament here in Brigham City. They've recently purchased it from John Gullo. Trying to grow this. You mentioned annual event. It's been a blast the last couple of years coming up here.
Let's go!
We talked about McGuffin earlier, able to keep Johns away from the net, and Johns that time just spreading the ball. And I think the first lead of the match now for Ben Johns.
Yep, and there's a good timeout by McGuffin there. He sensed that the momentum has swung, and I think that's a really good timeout. Every year, I think a lot of folks know that this tournament, the Tournament of Champions, was John Gullo's baby. I mean, he thought of this from day one, put a lot of resources up front in terms of time and money. This tournament started down in Ogden, Utah at, I think it was Monroe Park, right at the base of the Wasatch Mountains, a great spot. Moved up here a few years ago, and really a tribute to Kyle Klein and John Gullo and Trudy Klein to continue to grow this facility here in Brigham City. And it's now, I think, one of the absolute top venues that we have of all the tournaments we play. Great crowds come here. Look at this incredible setting. I mean, I'm from Wisconsin. We don't have mountains there. Dane, this never gets old to me.
You know what we need to do? We just need to find a way to get jump built into these gold medal games and matches, huh?
Yeah, pipe some music in here and get this going. That's what they do down in Naples, and it just gets the crowd excited.
Well, I figured the inner Badger and you would appreciate that, right? Start of the fourth quarter.
Jump around. That's what we call it. Yeah, we get Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin rocking. The place shakes. Oh, he missed the easy one.
Just missed it. And McGuffin able to draw back to 8 apiece.
I mean, we talk about the setup shot. Ben set that up perfectly and almost relaxed a little bit on that final shot.
Yeah.
He's hardly ever going to miss that shot. Oh, he wrong-footed him there. He saw McGuffin leaning left, and then he went behind him to the right. Always a really good play. If you can see your opponent committing one way or the other, go behind him. 8-8 here in Game 1 of the men's singles pro gold medal match.
Nice job there by McGuffin.
He wasn't going to miss that easy forehand.
Yeah.
Again, boy, this match, Dane, shaping up to be an absolute epic thriller, kind of what we talked about when we previewed this one a little while ago.
This was 7-3 McGuffin prior to that timeout by Johns. And a great run here by Johns, and there's another one. You can just feel it. That sense that John's now starting to be the aggressor and take advantage here. Is another timeout going to be called now by McGuffin. That will be his second and last.
Yeah, I think McGuffin's a little winded here. He really didn't go after that ball on a normal effort that he would. You don't see him, what I call, give up on a ball very often. He will give everything he's got and chase balls down. In that case, if he could have gotten to it, I think he could have gone around the post there. But kudos to Ben for hitting just a spectacular angle. And this is the trend that we're seeing at the highest levels in singles, Dane. Is it used to be where guys would come in and we would just try to pass guys either down the line or cross court. And the trend we're seeing is a little bit more of this cat and mouse game where we'll hit a drop shot and then we'll just angle dink back and forth and get guys moving around and waiting for that opportunity to attack and put the ball away. I would say just in the last year, this trend has really accelerated. And now we're seeing a lot of the great, I would say, the top 4 or 5 singles players all like to play this game. I mean, Kyle Yates is very good at it. Tyler Leung is very, very good at it. And all these guys have not only tremendous hands, Dane, but great footwork. If you watch these guys, they really anticipate well where the ball is going, and they get this. Watch, Ben is going to get to this ball. Ooh. Oh, he just tried to get too cute with it.
Yep. I was wondering, we saw Johns staying back and McGuffin forcing back, and when that, little drop shot was going to come, and nice work there by McGuffin. Yep. Now can he make a run, and that's a side out right back.
She called that in. Tyson not questioning that one. saying, nice call, man. 10-8, game point. Great deep serve and an excellent return. Oh, look at that backhand volley into the corner.
Wow. What a play by McGuffin.
Folks,
that one was so close, and linesman's right there, left that one in.
You just sometimes can't appreciate how great these athletes are. I mean, Ben ripped that at his backhand, and Tyson put it in the corner. Oh, that was an easy forehand volley. Ben anticipated that ball well going to his forehand and was just sitting on it.
10-8.
Another really good return by McGuffin, which is going to set him up to be in control of this point.
See Johns just inching up to the net. That one in.
Oh, another one on the line. I think in that game, Johns painted that line 5 different times, and it was a winner every time. So let's keep an eye on that trend with Johns picking on the McGuffin backhand and generating these unbelievable angles and painting that line.
Boy, phenomenal job considering this first game. It was 7-3 McGuffin, and the run that Ben Johns goes on.
Remember the turning point, Dane, in that match. Johns misses the easy forehand overhead.
Gave up a point.
Then misses an easy backhand return in the net. Called a timeout. And
7-1 from that point
we talked about how that was a wise timeout, and it could change the momentum. And Ben came out after that and completely turned that game around.
Yeah. 8-1. I said 7. 8-1 run by Ben Johns after that timeout. Just
unbelievable.
Unreal way to close out that first game.
So with Ben taking game 1, if Ben Johns takes game 2, he will capture the gold medal here at the Tournament of Champions here in beautiful Brigham City, Utah on John Gulo Medal Court. If McGuffin comes back and wins game 2, that will force a game 3. And if they go to game 3, the players will switch sides at 6 points. So there's no player that has an advantage based on the sun or the wind. And if McGuffin comes out on top in the 2 out of 3 games, McGuffin doesn't win yet. He still will have to play one more game to 15. And we call that a tiebreaker game to 15. And the reason that is because he came up from the consolation round, and Johns went through the winner's bracket unscathed.
I mean, that's the unreal thing, right? If you're Tyson Guffin, you now have to win 3 games against a guy who hasn't lost all day.
Yep.
It's a tall ask.
And a guy, I think, who's about 7 years younger than you are. Might be more than 7 years. But, Tyson and Ben are just physical specimens.
Yeah.
I mean,
you would never guess it looking at them. They are both in much better shape than I am. I can tell you that.
I know I don't want to get into any long-distance athletic competition with either one of these guys.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Great deep serve by McGuffin, trying to take control early here in game 2. Oh, what a terrific angle generated by Johns. I mean, McGuffin hit a good shot there. Johns cupped his wrist, came around the side of the ball to generate an unbelievable forehand cross-court angle for a winner. And that gets a side out to 0-0.
Wow, great recovery there by Johns.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I'm going to clap because that is just such great pickleball. I mean, these guys are giving everything they've got. We're up to 94 degrees on the court, according to what I'm hearing from the truck.
You know the remarkable thing? Johns had to work his way up, and in doing so, he was then able to push McGuffin back. I mean, you talked about great pickleball on that last one. It was fantastic exhibition by Johns as he has another point here in a 2-0 lead.
Tyson took control of this point early with a great deep return of serve in the corner, folks. And this is what we talked about earlier is I think that's going to be the key going forward in this match is who can put more pressure on their opponent with a deep, penetrating return of serve.
And I think the key was the velocity behind those returns, right?
Yep. And the location of,
Right.
the bounce.
Yep.
The depth is the key.
That one
Because the deeper the return, the harder the third shot drop is of the server. And the deeper the return, the more time the returner has to get in position at the kitchen line and react to the next shot. So the depth on the return is something we really teach and focus on in the game of singles.
Wow. Johns.
Such a good defender.
Holy cow.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow. I mean, I don't know how you can play that any better if you're Johns. I mean, a couple of put-away opportunities. John's able to defend them, and then sends McGuffin long. And
I think if you're McGuffin, you're happy with that point because you did everything that you could to win the point, and Ben just came up with a spectacular shot.
Sometimes you got to tip the cap.
Yep.
That's one of those moments.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We call that a Villages lob. Villages.
Yeah, you knew it immediately. The moment that ball left the paddle, you could see the look on McGuffin's face. A little dissatisfied. Knew that he was set up to be in a pretty bad spot. 5-0 here, the lead for Johns. That one called out by the line, so a side out. Service coming back to Tyson. Needing a run here.
0-5. Oh, I think that ball was out.
Yeah.
It was a very late
Delayed call.
but I think the correct call. Is that how you saw it?
I thought it was out.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the far side of the court for us, so didn't have the best angle, but I think the linesman was right on that one. Oh.
That's the second let court in this game, and I think at this point McGuffin just feels like things are going against him today, and it's just not going to be his day. But I tell you what, he is one of the most competitive individuals I've ever seen in my life in any sport. He is going to give everything he's got. Oh my gosh, that's just unbelievable. McGuffin hit a good approach shot.
Yeah.
He was deep in the corner. Now Ben anticipated it well and was sitting on his forehand, but still to execute that shot.
If you look in this match, it is now a 15-1 run since that timeout. Oh goodness, that just crawled over.
Are you kidding me? Oh.
There it is. And something you love to see, and it's one of the things I love about pickleball. This is a competitive sport, but after that one, both players came away from the net laughing. Right?
All right, let's see if McGuffin can go on a run here. I think this is the service, Dane, where he has to get a point or two, and there's one.
Yep. We mentioned runs. I mean, it was an 8-1 run for Johnson the first. McGuffin certainly capable of it. There's two.
Let's see if McGuffin really brings it on the serve here. I think you're going to see him get a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He gave everything he had on that.
It was a great serve from McGuffin. Wasn't happy with his second hit. Ended up in the net, side out, back now to Ben John. 7-2 here in our second game.
Long.
That one long. Yeah.
The wind has shifted, so now, folks, if you're watching on your screen, Ben is playing downwind, and McGuffin is into the wind. So Ben has to be a little bit careful on some of his drives, and his serves and his returns for that ball to carry a little bit. Interesting, a return right in the middle of the court to not give Johns any angle.
Wow.
So sometimes in singles, we try to probe different areas. And what we saw from McGuffin there is a deep return down the middle to not give Johns any angle to make the passing shot. That's an issue. Great backhand volley by McGuffin. Issues.
Love that. I mean, here's the Badger just calling it. Oh, that's an issue. And sure enough, a point for McGuffin. 3-7.
Yeah, we like to have a little fun out here.
I love it.
Oh, that's going to sail deep.
Don't look now, folks. Tyson McGuffin crawling back into this second game.
4-7.
Yeah, long.
I got a little bit greedy there.
Unforced again.
A little bit greedy.
Yeah.
7-4. Ben is 4 points away from his gold medal here at TOC. Men's singles. And here we go. Here's the angle cat and mouse game.
Oof.
Oh, McGuffin caught up to that ball, but it got behind him.
Yeah.
He tried to lean in and cut it off, but Ben just hit too good of a shot. And McGuffin's a little tired here, a little winded. He's going to take a little bit of a hydration break. Looks like he's going to go seek out some shade back here.
I don't blame him. Got to rest up, try to cool off a little bit. You mentioned the Tournament of Champions here in Brigham City, Utah, Tier 1 USAPA sanctioned tournament here in Brigham City. Been going on for a couple of years now, and great to be joined by old friends and Dave Weinbach, and chance to catch up and call some gold medal matches.
Always
every
great.
year.
Always great to be here, and really, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for John Gulo.
Yeah.
John initially put up a lot of time and resources and financial resources to really start and build the Tournament of Champions, and it just grows every year. I mean, I think, Dane, out of all the top 25 players in the world, I think 24 of the 25 players are playing in this tournament. And that's a tribute to John and Kyle Klein and the team and really the city of Brigham City to put the resources and time into this venue and to build up the prize pool. I mean, these guys have worked tirelessly for sponsorships, and I think the payout this year, the total payout of Tournament of Champions, is $54,000.
Goodness. Oh, what a shot. Opportunity to finish. There it is. McGuffin with an impressive couple shots there to get the side out.
Great setup with that ball that was deep in the John's backhand corner.
See if he can put together another run here. Vacated the spot early, and Johns went right back to it.
McGuffin committed early to down the line, and he leaned there with his forehand. Ben kind of saw it with his peripheral vision, and at the last minute, cupped his backhand wrist and flicked it cross court in beautiful. Oh, great deep serve! Oh, that was in. That was in.
Wow!
What a shot! What a stab volley by McGuffin. I mean, Ben hit a great inside-out forehand winner, which I thought was winner, and McGuffin stepped. There's another situation where McGuffin committed early to his backhand, thought Johns was going cross-court, and Ben held off as long as he could, and then saw McGuffin go left, and then pushed it down the line. Oh, and there's a freebie. When you're down and working so hard to come back, you can't afford any freebies. You must make the guy earn it, baby.
2 points away, Ben Johns, from the championship and the men's pro single gold medal match, and that one just missed on the return.
It skidded on the line, and that ball hit the line, skidded, and McGuffin couldn't catch up to it. Definitely was in.
Match point.
Wow. Talk about finishing in style. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, first of all, he puts a serve on the line, and it might have been his hardest serve of the entire day for a service winner, and then hits an inside-outside forehand cross-court winner on match point. You know, it's not like Tyson didn't play a good match, Dane.
Yeah.
He played a good match. He ran into a guy who all day has been absolutely on fire. I mean, he gave no openings to McGuffin. He did the same thing to him in the winner's bracket final, and that's as good. I've seen Ben Johns play a lot of singles. That's the best match I've ever seen him play.
Well, he was down 7-3, right? It's a 19-5 run the rest of the match once Johns took that first time out.
Unbelievable.
Impressive job by Ben Johns. And I think McGuffin, we mentioned it, would even tip his cap, say, hey, good job, man. You got me today. And Ben Johns. the
do we
winner.
want to try to get a word in with our champion or not?
I think we're working on that.
Okay. Oh, I see. We're going to do it at the medal ceremony.
Yep.
Got it. Well, Ben just blitzed through this field today. And by the way, this was an incredibly high-quality field, as good as I have seen in singles. And he really earned it, Dane. We got to really give a lot of credit to Ben Johns. I mean, he stepped up big time today. I'd say in that winner's bracket final in this gold medal match is the highest level I've seen him ever play singles. And he played against arguably the top singles player in the world. I mean, those are, in my opinion, that's 1-2. And I think Ben has a slight edge on Tyson in terms of their overall head-to-head record. And I think if they played 100 times, it probably would be close to 65% to Ben, 35% to Tyson, is if I had to, put a guess on it. But today, he just didn't give Tyson a chance.
11-8, 11-4. Ben Johns over Tyson McGuffin. Dave, thank you, sir. We've got a medal presentation coming up. We're going to have that for everyone. And Ben Johns, your winner of the men's pro single gold medal match.
Thanks, Dane. Really enjoyed it. Great job.
Been a pleasure.
Rob Barnes, and we're at the 2019 Tournament of Champions in Brigham City. This is a Tier 1 tournament. We're on the John Gullo Center Court. It's only on the live stream, sorry. The tournament's presented by Selkirk Sport, and gold sponsors Pickleball Central and Paddle Tech. We're going to hand out the medals and checks right now. First, bronze medal goes to Kyle Yates, and he will be receiving it's a $700 check. Now they're fighting over medals and the check. Edward got the check, of course. Okay. And then and his sponsor is Paddle Tech. Okay, next, silver medalist is Tyson McGuffin. And he'll be receiving a $1,200 check. And his sponsor, of course, is Selkirk Sport. Okay. And finally, but not least, is Ben Johns. He is the gold medalist. He will be receiving a $1,700 check, his gold medal, and the official shoe of TOC head shoes. So he'll be receiving those as well. Congratulations. How was your road to victory?
It was kind of a grind. It usually is. Tyson's a real tough competitor. Had to play him twice, and that's always brutal. So props to him and all the other competitors that made the draw tough. It's a small draw and a lot of really good players here at TOC, so it's never easy.
Great. And do you enjoy coming to Brigham City to play TOC?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different vibe than the bigger ones like the U.S. Open or Nationals, where they have more atmosphere. But here, you're kind of with other pros and your peers, so it's kind of fun to hang out with them on a more laid-back setting. And the competition is first rate, so yeah, I like it a lot.
Awesome. Well, congrats today, and good luck with the rest of the week.
Thanks, Rob.
Cool. Yeah, you're welcome.